the city of Lehi-Nephi, for his people had heard nothing from them from the time they had left the land of Zarahemla. Therefore they wearied him with their teasings. And it came to pass that King Mosiah granted that 16 of their strong men might go up to the land of Lehi-Nephi to inquire concerning their brethren. And it came to pass that on the morrow they started to go up, having them one Ammon, being a strong and mighty man, a descendant of Zarahemla. And he was also their leader. So they're sending my thought was that they're sending SEAL Team 6 to go and have an analysis of what's going on. And Ammon is he's the team leader. And now they knew not the course that they should travel in the wilderness to go up to the land of Lehi-Nephi. Wherefore they wandered many days in the wilderness, even 40 days did they wander. And when they had wandered 40 days, they came to a hill, which is north of the land Shalom, and there they pitched their tents. And Ammon took 3 of his brethren, and their names were Amalekah, Helam, and Hem, and they went down into the land of Nephi. And behold, they met the king of the people who were in the land of Nephi, and in the land of Shiloh. And they were surrounded by the king's guard, and were taken, and were bound, and were committed to prison. It came to pass that when they had been in prison 2 days, they were again brought before the king, and their bands were loosed. I wonder why they were in prison for 2 days instead of just talking with the king the first day. Maybe the king was busy or something, and so they needed to be put in a timeout or something until the king was available to talk with these new people. I don't know. And they stood before the king and were permitted, or rather commanded, that they should answer the questions which he should ask them. And he said unto them, Behold, I am Limhi, the son of Noah, who was the son of Zeniff, who came up out of the land of Zarahemla to inherit this land, which was the land of their fathers, who was made a king by the voice of the people. And now I desire to know the cause whereby ye were so bold as to come near the walls of the city, when I myself was with my guards without the gate. And now for this cause I have suffered that ye should be preserved, that I might inquire of you, or else I should have caused that my guards should have put you to death. Ye are permitted to speak. That's pretty bold. And now when Ammon saw that he was permitted to speak, he went forth and bowed himself before the king, and rising again he said, O king, I am very thankful before God for this day that I am yet alive, and am permitted to speak, and I will endeavor to speak with boldness. For I am assured that if ye had known me, ye would not have suffered that I should have worn these bands, for I am Ammon, and I am a descendant of Zarahemla, and I have come up out of the land of Zarahemla to inquire concerning our brethren, whom Zeniff had brought up out of that land. And now it came to pass that after Limhi had heard the words of him, and he was exceedingly glad, and said, Now I know of a surety that my brethren who were in the land of Zarahemla are yet alive, and now I will rejoice, and on the morrow I will cause that my people shall rejoice also. For behold, we are in bondage to the Lamanites, and we are taxed with a tax that is grievous to be borne. And now behold, our brethren will deliver us out of bondage, or out of the hands of the Lamanites, and we will be their slaves. For it is better that we be slaves to the Nephites than to pay tribute to the king of the Lamanites. Well, that shows something about the groups. And now King Limhi commanded his guards that they should no more bind Ammon nor his brethren, but caused that they should go to the hill which was north of Shiloh, and bring their brethren into the city, that thereby they might eat and drink and rest themselves from labors of their journey. For they had suffered many things, suffered hunger, thirst, and fatigue. And now it came to pass on the morrow that King Limhi sent a proclamation among all his people, that thereby they may gather themselves together to the temple to hear the words which he should speak unto them. And it came to pass that when they had gathered themselves together, that he spoke unto them in this wise, saying, O ye, my people, lift up your heads and be comforted, for behold, the time is at hand, or is not far distant, when we shall no longer be in subjection to our enemies, notwithstanding our many strugglings which have been in vain. Yet I trust there remaineth an effectual struggle to be made. Therefore lift up your heads and rejoice, and put your trust in God, in that God who was the God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, and also that God who had brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, and caused that they should walk through the Red Sea on dry ground, and fed them with manna, that they might not perish in the wilderness, and many more things did he do for them. And again, that same God has brought our fathers out of the land of Jerusalem, and has kept and preserved his people even until now. And behold, it is because of our iniquities and abominations that he has brought us into bondage. Okay, so if I'm understanding this right, Ammon and the SEAL Team 6 pretty much go into this land of Lehi Nephi, I think they call it, and they are met with guards who put them in prison for 2 days until they can speak with the king. The king's name is King Limhi. They go before the king, they have this conversation, and Ammon says, well, King Limhi says, like, you're lucky here to be alive, I could have put you to death. And Ammon's like, I'm grateful that I'm alive. I just wanted to see what's going on with, or like, I wanted to inquire what this land and what this people is all about. And he's saying that he came from the Nephites, I believe. And King Limhi is overjoyed to know that the Nephites are still like, that they still exist. And he's like, oh, I'm so grateful to have the Nephites as an option to be like partners with or allies with. Because right now we're in subjection to the Lamanites. And that's why he called together a gathering the next day to tell his people, like, hey, we're so glad that we can, the Nephites like exist, and we can like partner with them, and like we would rather be slaves to them than pay tribute to the Lamanite king. And so I think that's like what's happened so far. And I think right now we're just reading like the speech that King Limhi is giving to his people. If anyone knows more than me, then please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to learn these things. And ye are all witnesses this day that Zenith, who was made king over this people, he being overzealous to inherit the land of his fathers, therefore being deceived by the cunning and the craftiness of King Laman, who, having entered into a treaty with King Zenith, and having yielded up into his hands the possessions of a part of the land, or even the city of Lehi Nephi, and the city of Shalom, and the land round about. And all this he did for the sole purpose of bringing this people into subjection or into bondage. And behold, we at this time do pay tribute to the king of the Lamanites, to the amount of 1/2 our corn and our barley and even our grain of every kind, and 1/2 of the increase of our flocks and our herds, and even 1/2 of all we have or possess the king of the Lamanites doth exact of us or our lives. Wow, so I think he's just like, right now we're paying half of all we have to the king of the Lamanites. And now is this not grievous to be born? And is this not our affliction great? And behold, how great reason we have to mourn. Yea, I say unto you, great are the reasons which we have to mourn. For behold, how many of our brethren have been slain, and their blood has been spilt in have they slain, yea, a chosen man of God, who told them of their wickedness and abominations, and prophesied of many things to come, yea, even the coming of Christ. And because he said unto them that Christ was the Son of God, and because he said unto them that Christ was the God, the Father of all things, and said that he should take upon him the image of man, and it should be after the image of how man was created in the beginning. Or in other words, he said that man was created after the image of God, and that God should come down among the children of men to take upon him flesh and blood, and to go forth among the face of the earth. And now, because he said this, they did put him to death, and many more things did they do, which brought down the wrath of God upon them. Therefore, who wondereth that they are in bondage, and they are smitten with sore afflictions? For behold, the Lord hath said, I will not succor my people in the day of their transgression, but I will hedge up their ways, that they prosper not, and their doings shall be as a stumbling block before them. Wow, that reminds me of, I think it's Helaman 5:11, about how the Lord does not come to redeem us in our sins, but from our sins. It's kind of like that, where he's saying the Lord does not succor us and redeem us and save us when it says here in the day of their transgression, but actually their doings are a stumbling block before them. They are the ones that are stopping themselves from progress. It's not the Lord or anything. It's their own agency that needs to change. And again he saith, if my people shall sow filthiness, they shall reap the chaff thereof in the whirlwind, and the effect thereof is poison. And again he saith, if my people shall sow filthiness, they shall reap the east wind, which bringeth them immediate destruction. And now behold, the promise of the Lord is fulfilled, and ye are smitten and afflicted. But if you will turn to the Lord with full purpose of heart, and put your trust in him, and serve him with all diligence of mind, if ye do this, he will, according to his own will and pleasure, deliver you out of bondage. That's a great ending verse. Yeah, what a great verse. Alright, that's all for this one. Thank you for listening. I hope you were able to feel something or learn something today from the scriptures, and that you can have a great day or night whenever you listen to this.